mental health, emotional health, physical health, deeper understanding, actionable takeaways to improve your quality of life. We're the Level Up guys.
Even guys can have emotionally literate conversations about these hard topics, and we're the guys that are going to prove it. Let's level up.
So here's something, Jarrett. I've got a new motorcycle, right? I think I told you. I got to get myself a motorcycle. I've been riding motorcycles for 20 years, and one came along that was like, I really want this. This is kind of like my dream bike. Here's the thing. It's my dream bike, and it's really big and loud and fast. And I'm kind of scared of dropping it because this is 555 pounds. Okay. I'm not a huge guy. I'm strong because I do yoga and Pilates, and I'm confident because I get to talk to you all the time and we work out this stuff and like the Level Up guys. But I'm having a hard time really enjoying fully riding this motorcycle because it's beautiful and I don't want to drop it. And I'm a little bit intimidated because it's so heavy. So what I decided to do, I signed up for training. So in a couple of weeks, I'm going to go to South Carolina for the weekend for an advanced motorcycle training, some track days. This is at the BMW Performance Center. I know how to ride motorcycles, but I want to be able to have a coach, somebody who does their research, hit me up with like the check me doing this, make sure my eyes are right, make sure my vision is right, make sure everything's working right. Because I know with that information that I get from a pro, I'm going to be more confident and feel more empowered in my bike. And when I'm more empowered and more confident in my bike, it's going to be more fun. Right.
That makes a lot of sense. And the connection that I'm making is people come to you not as yoga professionals, but as people who want to engage in yoga. And they look to you for that coaching mentality and to have a sense of, hey, position yourself like this, or don't forget to breathe, or, balance your weight in this way, things like that. And so it makes sense that because that is so intuitive to you, that you are looking for that in this other experience.
Yeah. I mean, it made me think of like the Level Up guys, this whole entire thing. Cause actionable takeaways, maybe not even new information, but like reinforcing in me, like what's going on? What am I doing? Having somebody else that's going to hold me accountable to make sure everything's right. Right. To level up.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want to have this beautiful, awesome, big motorcycle that I love. And it's a badass thing to look at, but I'm like, right.
Right.
All the confidence. And we all need teachers. We all need coaches. We all need to be able to I need to level up.
Yeah. And the thing that also makes sense to me is that even if you go and the guy tells you, don't change a thing, you're doing it perfectly right. Right. You are going to ride a motorcycle safer and with more confidence if you feel confident rather than feel anxious about it, right? And so even if you learn no new skills, you still are going to improve your safety and success on the motorcycle by going through this experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Motorcycling, it's an interesting thing, motorcycling, because I haven't driven a car in almost 4 years. Motorcycling is not safe. All you do is kind of mitigate risk. With your technique, your practice habits, your gear, quality of your bike, you're mitigating risk. And it's kind of like life. Like life is not easy. It's kind of scary at times. We have to mitigate risk, so I don't have this emotional turbulence, or this physical turbulence, or this spiritual turbulence or something. We're kind of making it so we put ourselves in the right position. So even when bad things happen, we're mitigating risk. We're practicing all these habits of sleep and nutrition and mental health and balance and counter steering and doing all this stuff on a bike, right? To have a better experience.
Yeah. And I think that there's a big difference between mitigating risk or, setting yourself up in a position to succeed or make it through risk than avoiding risk, right? Like you're still on a motorcycle, like you are engaging in that risk because it brings you joy, right? And maybe the first time you ever did because it was something that you really felt on the other side of this anxiety, on the other side of this fear experience, this risky experience, there could be utter disaster and failure. And I can, walk away from this being like, well, that didn't work. And however you feel about it, or you could walk away from it saying, I'm so glad I did that. Holy hell, I'm going to keep doing this. I want to do it as much as possible. This brings me so much joy, right? So that's the nature of risk, right? Like you can either fail miserably, or it can change your life in wonderful ways. And it just is the courage to engage in the risk, but doing it in a smart way that is, as you said, like decreases the chances that that failure will impact you in a really serious way. And I mean, even in life, right? Like, it's not that we don't take risks. It's that we do some of our internal work. We figure out how to navigate the emotions that show up, and allow them to move through us and process them. When things don't go well in relationships, in interactions, hard conversations, things like that, right? It's not about not having them. It's more about, can I set myself up so that when I have them and when they get complicated and tricky and feel hard and feel, emotional, can I make it through with some confidence that this is going to bring me joy on the other side?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
courage, though. It takes some courage to make any risk.
Yeah. That's a whole new podcast episode, courage in itself. Well, here's the thing. Like, what's riskier? Riding a motorcycle or not doing what you love to do out of fear? Because here's the thing, there's another episode, fear. Like, fear
Mhm.
is always there. You're not going to eliminate fear, but through like manifestation and practice, you can like mitigate the fear so that it's not, an all encompassing, it's not a barrier. It might be a little bit
Mhm.
of a speed bump. But like, I have a mantra before I ride my bike every single time. I kneel down next to the side and I put my hand in a certain place and I say this little mantra in my brain to like let go of the fear, because I want to be a little bit scared.
Mhm. It's
If you're
going to keep you alert.
like cutting up wood, you should
Mhm.
be a little bit scared because it's dangerous, and that might make you a little bit more like in tune with what you're doing. Like, I want to be a little bit scared, but you have to be relaxed. And if I say I can manage this, if I drop my bike, I can manage it. If I get in an accident, I can manage it. That manifestation in our minds.
Yeah, it reminds me of when we used to play music together, right? Like it's appropriate and even healthy and helpful to be nervous right before going on stage or as you're leading up to it. And sometimes that's what gives you the energy to do the thing, right? Like it's increasing the energy in our body, whatever the emotion, whether it's excitement, whether it's anxiety. And it's just about deciding, am I going to move towards this thing with this energy or am I going to move away from this thing with this energy?
Yeah, I see it a lot motorcycling. Like, if someone is motorcycling and they're kind of a hooligan, maybe a little bit reckless, weaving in and out of cars, what
Reckless
happens?
hooligans.
Reckless hooligans. It's not me, mom. It's not me. I
Mhm.
under the speed limit. I lost my train of thought, but I'm back.
Okay.
Well, what happens if you're like weaving in and out of traffic is people get angry at you because they
Mm.
got scared.
Mhm.
Suddenly there's like zing, 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 and you're through, and people get scared. Like, holy shit, what was that? I almost killed that guy. And then they let go of their fear by being angry.
Right. How dare you make me feel afraid?
Right. And I think a lot of road rage is like people are upset. I get scared to death. Like,
Yeah.
if somebody like comes into my lane and they don't see me and I almost die, I'm like, who are you? Beep,
Yeah.
beep, beep, beep. Fuck you. All this, right?
Yeah.
When in reality, I'm like, you just didn't see me. Like, no big deal. I'm safe. I made it out alive. But that fear,
Right.
right? It's easy to like be a bomb on somebody.
Right. It's not like right. To tell yourself the story that this person tried to hit me, right? Or this person wanted me to crash in my motorcycle is likely unreasonable unless you're in a movie car chase, right? Um, but yeah, it can have that same anger show up as a result of the fear, as if that's what was happening. It's like,
Yeah.
how dare like you're gonna get me, like, all right, now it's on. It's like, whoa. Like we don't want to increase the chance of something unsafe happening here.
Yeah. I mean, you and I talking throughout the years, doing holding each other accountable and doing our like physical and emotional like strength training. I mean, that's the impetus of the level up, guys. Like, think about this. When we were 16 years old, we took like a weekend course on how to drive a car, and now we just drive cars with no additional training. You're flying through space with thousands of pounds of steel with no additional training. how much better drivers would we be? How much better humans would we be? How much better lives could we live if we did a little training? If we like thought about it, be like, let's have some tough conversations. Let's get some resources together. Jarrett and I are going to read this fucking book like this, and then we're going to break it down into like the bullet point list for people in the level up guys.
Yeah.
Same as me going to the performance center to be able to say, hey, coach me up, train me. I want to be, open to whatever you have to say, reinforce what I'm doing right, correct what I'm not doing right, so I can feel more comfortable, more confident on my bike. Same like we're trying to do with people, feel more calm and comfortable in your life, and like leveling up that experience.
Yeah, that's why I love being a mental health counselor who is also in therapy, right? Like it is, if I'm going to be certainly if I'm going to be compassionate towards people that are in my office or that I'm meeting with, and kind of understand where they're coming from a place from that place of vulnerability and curiosity, and also like it takes some amount of confidence to show up in anything, right? So it's like, hey, here's some stuff I'm struggling with, but I'm going to confidently show up and be like, let's figure this out, right? Like that's why I love it. It's absorbing this like training for life in a way, or making it and making meaning of life, um, and figuring out the ways that that can go awry, right? Or figuring out the ways that we can be purposeful about it, and manifest the things that we want in our life.
Yeah, yeah. I think a big part of it too is not just the new information and like what's the next iteration of something. It's the reinforcement and the reminder. That's what I love about talking to you. My day is always better after because I feel more grounded. I'm like, oh yeah, this is what it's all about. I was freaking out about this thing, and now we're like, oh yeah, level up guys, like, bringing
It's
it back
help,
neutral
yeah,
baseline.
and it's helpful to have somebody to reframe what you're experiencing, but also to validate what you're experiencing, right? It's like, yes, like let's get into it. Like, yes, your experience is valid and real, and a normal response or reaction to a situation, and let's expand what the possibilities are of what happened and also what you can do as a result. Right. Like
Yeah.
that's I find that endlessly helpful when you do that for me. And I love being that source for other people, whether professionally or with my best friend.
Yeah, it's cool too because I mean, with your career and your life's work in mental health and emotional health, and with my career over a decade teaching yoga, owning a studio, teaching Pilates, trying to help people. Not only that, but just so we geek out on information. We're talking Andrew Huberman and Brene Brown and Mark Groves. We got all these things going. You're sending me books in the mail. I'm like, checking this podcast. We're like back and forth. Like, no, we have our life's experience, which gives us, I think, the great ground to be able to speak our own truth and speak our
Mhm.
own experience. But also, there's some super smart people that we're just naturally, you and I like learning stuff and sharing
Yeah.
back and forth. We're going off on enneagrams for hours, just boom, 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 2, 8, 9, like just geeking out. It's so much fun, and I'm super excited because we're both in the business in our careers of helping people, and through this platform, the Level Up guys, like this is why we're doing it because we can reach anybody, whoever. If some person in New Zealand bummed out, not knowing what to do, you can tune into the Level Up guys and maybe get a little thing. And we'll probably get something from you too, how we can level up our lives because we're right. We're
Yeah.
bringing you into our orbit so that we're all kind of doing it together. We're all in like the same orbit because we're learners, we're absorbers, we're all that. We don't have it all figured out.
Right, truth. And yeah, I mean, one of the things that I'm, in addition to getting all of those resources and listening to smart people tell me their resources and experience, the thing that I am constantly relearning, um, and trying to keep front of mind as best I can, is some amount of taking in new information is valuable, and also within me, I also have what I need if I can focus myself and ground myself in my truth and sink into my body and like approach my life from my point of knowing rather than how the world has trained me to be a people pleaser, or to, avoid conflict, or to say yes, or to say no, to things that I'm afraid, might be afraid of, or feel scary, or like a risk. It's like, check in with my heart, check in with my body. There's wisdom there. And so, yes, there's wisdom out there, right? But also, like, always relearning, there's wisdom here too. And
Oh yeah,
that's another part of what we want to bring to the table.
100%. To amplify that from my own perspective, dealing with human beings and mostly like physical fitness, strength and mobility, balance, all that stuff. If I asked an average person what it would take to have a healthy body, you already know the answer.
Mm,
You have to watch what you eat, move your body, breathe, do some stress reduction techniques, be happy, surround yourself by good people, get some fresh air, sleep well, don't be an asshole. Like, it's not like we just need to be like reminded there's no new
mm,
thing. Like
yeah.
every day I see a new thing on my Instagram feed where it's like the new revolution in belly law and the new revolution, and like, no, no, no. It's the same stuff. You can eat real food, go talk to Jarrett for your mental health, come see me for yoga and Pilates, move your body. Not even that. Swim, walk your dog, skip. Skipping is underrated.
Yeah. Spend time in nature. My wife has a mug that says, hiking cheaper than therapy.
Yeah. Yeah. When I ride my motorcycle, it's helmet therapy.
Mm.
It's helmet that you put it on. I'm at the doctor right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, side
Yeah.
note, next time will you remind me to sit up straight because I'm a yoga teacher. I've been down like this way. I gotta be like up.
All right. I think you should be reminding me to sit up straight.
Sit up straight. I'm gonna put a little note up here for the next time. Sit up straight.
There you go. What should I be reminding me
Students,
of?
side thing. I tell my students who come in, because 99% of my students are female. It's just
Mm.
a mixture of yoga and hot Pilates. If people come in, their back hurts, I'll say, hey, you know who Cleopatra is? And I don't really know who Cleopatra is, but I know she was the queen, right?
I
You
think
get
of
a,
Egypt, maybe.
suddenly these women are like standing up straight and their shoulders are back and their chest is lifted and they're carrying themselves like super confidently like Cleopatra. Because I'm sitting down here like, Gollum. I'm all hunched over, be like, I'm gonna sit up. But this is the thing: we're gonna remind ourselves. We're gonna keep reminding ourselves and holding each other and be reminding, like, I already know what to do. I already
One podcast to rule them all. My
yeah,
precious.
yeah. All right, sit up straight, shave your face, go to motorcycle training, sign up, follow the Level Up guys, subscribe. So we're working on YouTube channel, we're working on Instagram. I mean, I'm not a big TikTok.
Facebook page. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a big TikToker. I don't dance. I make money moves. Well, I'm not a big TikTok guy. But yeah, we'll do a Facebook page for the old timers, Instagram for little snippets, YouTube for the full episodes.
Yeah.
Spotify is probably going to recruit us. They're probably going to be like, we need you guys on Spotify. We're the next big thing. So wait for that.
I think even video game channels will misunderstand our title. They'll be like, level up, guys. Yeah, we want you. And then they'll learn something about themselves rather than the game, about the game of life, right? That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
yeah. That was really good feedback that we got from one of our best friends, that the name of the Level Up guys is like, oh, is this like a video game thing? Right? But so much of what we talk about and say is like perception of how it is. It could be. It could also be like an aluminum ladder company. We're leveling up. We're going up the
Mm-hmm.
ladder. It could be an elevator repairman. It could be, let's like perception of how we think about things. Even the labels we put onto ourselves. I'm feeling angry or happy or sad or courageous or resentful. Right?
Yeah.
These labels could be like, huh, is it negative? Is it positive? This is why we do the deep dives.
Yeah. Yeah. The language we use matters, and it guides our thoughts, which affect our feelings, which affect our actions, right? So, like, if we don't start using purposeful language to describe what's our experience,
Yeah.
yeah, that's where it gets, that's where it goes awry, rather than being purposeful about how we want to live our lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Truth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so much from a motorcycle training. I said to tell you all about it. When this video goes on YouTube, we'll put a little screenshot of my bike. See
Yeah.
BMW 2011 triple black. It's all black, blacked out.
Yeah,
And
if you see Bill on the road, if you see Bill on the road, just make sure that you're not, veering into him.
oh
Because,
no.
yeah.
Well, here's the thing: is I take my dog with me. So my dog Chili, he's about to be a year old. He's got like a special thing on the back where he's in the back and he's all locked in and safe. And so whenever we're motorcycling, the first thing people do is they're like, "Hey, I got to put you on my TikTok." And so I'm creating inadvertently this super unsafe situation
Yeah,
because
it's like, no, drive your car, please. Stop
yeah,
with, yeah.
right. Because everybody around me suddenly is like, "Oh, they're trying to like split attention between taking a picture of us versus like driving."
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah,
Man. Yeah. Taking the risks.
yeah,
Not all risks are going to end well,
yeah.
right?
Well, where your attention goes, energy flows.
Mm,
Where's your attention? What are we doing? What are we focusing on? And
yeah.
for me, like just the last thing, a lot of the time, my attention can default towards like a negative thing for some reason. I have like a proclivity to negativity for whatever
Mm,
reason. And if my attention goes there, the energy flows there. So I
mm,
need these reminders from you and from everything that I'm doing, my little sticky notes that I have, my little mantras, my
yeah.
practices, my thing. I'm like, how do I bring myself back to being like, oh, positive attention, positive energy, all the good stuff.
It's true. What we bring our attention to, we do more of, and what we bring others' attention to, they do more of,
Yeah.
right? It's kind of programmed into our pack mentality, mammal
Yeah.
nature. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So let me throw this out there. Pop quiz, not related to anything. Future level up, guys, right? Give me 5 topics that we're going to cover in podcast episodes. 5.
Cool.
Give
Oh,
me
you want me to give it? I
that's
thought
a
you were asking for comments. All right, yeah. Um, I think we got to tackle courage. I think we
card.
got to. I think we got to.
A lot of cards to start the podcast.
Yeah.
We
Um,
sat here
I,
for a while being like, I don't want to do it.
yeah, yeah, fair enough. I think anger and boundaries is
Yeah.
another one. Fear you mentioned. I think creating joy is important. And honestly, relationships, right? Like like regardless of whether it's romantic or otherwise, that's important. And I know that you mentioned this too, but something about how the language we use matters, right?
Yeah.
And maybe that'll be weaved into a couple of them, but it does.
I
It
mean,
does.
per our conversations we've had throughout the years, that could be a 2-parter.
Yeah.
Relationships.
Yeah. It's
Who
true.
knows? All right, cool. Great talking to you. Let's talk to you tomorrow. Let's keep doing it.
All right. Love it. Love you,
All right.
buddy.
Let me
Level
see.
up.
Level up.
All right.
That's it for today, you guys. Make sure to follow us. You can find us on all the major platforms. If you really like what you heard, maybe share it with a friend, share it with a buddy, maybe share it with an enemy, because we all need a little bit of love. We're going to level up together. See you next time.